Hello, everyone. Sorry that I couldn't make it last night. I would have much rather had power and no frozen water pipes. So anyway, you saw the email, I'm sure by now. So I'm going to go through last night's lecture now this way, and that way you'll be able to get the information we're going to cover. Next week you will do your presentation. Okay. So there are 3 basic communication skills. And what are they? Well, you can't answer, so I can't ask a team. They are sharing information, listening effectively, and providing feedback. So that should include share a greeting. Hello, how are you doing? A little social opening so that you all get on the right foot. And then whenever you talk and you give information, make sure you always tell the truth no matter what. Even if it's doom and gloom, people will respect you more if you tell the truth rather than to tell them lies. Ask questions. Don't assume anything. Instead of telling everybody what you know, find out if you know what you know. Ask the people around you or in your group or in your workforce to ensure rather than inform. Make sure you get informed too. Repeat yourself. Start off by telling them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you're going to tell them. Why? Number 1, it sets the stage. It gets them in the right frame of mind so they understand what's coming. And then you tell them about what you're going to say. All right, what else? Separate opinions from facts. If you have an opinion to put in there or you've heard an opinion, then what you should be doing is saying, now, in my opinion, that way you're clarifying that it's not a fact necessarily, but it's just what you think, okay? Never bring up more than 7. Never more than 7 things. Keep it brief as possible. The more information you give them, the more overload you're going to give them, the more they're not going to remember what you say. Okay? Now, to be a good communicator, you have to learn how to listen effectively. So you have to force yourself to listen. Stop what you're doing. If you're working at your desk and somebody comes in to talk to you, stop what you're doing, look at them, give them eye contact, and give them your full attention. Pay attention and show attention. Don't show any bad body language. Do not keep looking at your watch. Do not cross your arms. Those are 2 things I'm telling you right now that you can use for bonus points to ensure that you watch this lecture. So the one is, don't look at your watch. And the other is, don't fold across your arms. Watch your body language. Lean forward as if you were interested. Okay? And leaning forward is a nice gesture rather than sitting back. Sitting back means you're laid back and you kind of want to hear it. Leaning forward shows that you're interested and you're moving towards them. Hear what they are saying. Paraphrase it. Play it back to them. For instance, okay, if I understand you correctly, you're saying that this is not working out as we thought, and you think the best way to resolve that is to, that way they know that you heard what they said, okay? Don't judge. Don't make any assumptions. Don't add any emotions to your listening. Listen to the facts and what's being presented. Watch for any nonverbal signals, such as rolling their eyes, hands on the hip, different things that people do when they're either disgusted, don't believe in what you're saying, have an attitude. Watch for all those, okay? Provide feedback immediately. Time it well. Do it as soon as it's possible. If somebody does something wrong, you need to get with them right away. Don't let it linger until the next day or let it build up until there's 2 or 3. Do it in a timely manner. Describe what you evaluate. Don't make it personal. Remember to address the issue or the behavior, not the person or the personality. And then be specific, be concise. Don't blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you've had somebody make corrections with you or tell you a better way to do it or how they want you to do it. And in the way of doing so, they just blah, 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 blah. And you're like, all right, get it over with. Just tell me. So don't be one of those. Be polite. Don't be negative. Keep it positive. And again, we're looking for the positive, everyone. We're not negative diggers, okay? All right. Now, in the other part of providing feedback, at the end, summarize agreements. If somebody agrees with you that they're going to do this or that, summarize it and make sure that they do understand what is to be done, and you both understand what each is expecting out of each other. And I want you to use the sandwich technique. The sandwich technique. Another bonus question for you. What is this? Well, you start off with a positive. You slide in the fill, which is the problem or situation you want to address or correct, and then you end it again with a positive. So, for instance, listen, you're really a great worker. I really enjoy having you on my team. You do some great stuff. However, my problem is that you are often late to work, and that's not fair to everyone else. And as you probably know, we have to have everybody here on time and started on their station on time. So I really need you to fix that problem, okay? But again, I'm really happy to have you on my team, and I just don't know what we do without you. You're a great worker. Let's just fix that attendance problem, okay? Say that in a nice way. Start off with a good. Put the problem in there and address it with a good. That makes the person feel better rather than you just coming in and attacking them with a negative. All right, so how do we handle the problem members? I think we went over this in class once before, so I'm not going to go over it, but I want you in an assignment here for this lecture. I want you to provide me one method for each of these on how you would solve this person in your team if you were in charge, okay? So take a look at these, write them down: silent type, talker, wanderer, board member, the arguer. I want you to tell me in the assignment drop box what you would do for each one of these people, okay, to solve it. All right, now, having meetings, very important. You need to plan your meetings. The worst thing you can do is bring a meeting together and not have a clear-cut reason for being there and kind of shoot from the hip, because you're going to lose people's interest. And most people have other things to do besides hang out in meetings. So make sure you have objectives. Make sure you have the right people there. And if you have things that need to get done, assign these out ahead of time so you know who's going to do what. Have a clear-cut agenda of what has to happen here and what has to happen there. Make sure you announce the meeting, the date, the place, and the time. And make sure you have the leadership of the meeting going in a good direction. Now, once you are in there conducting the meeting, there are three important parts of a meeting. You want to identify the objectives right up front. Okay, today we are getting together. We're going to discuss our problem on line 3. We're going to discuss a safety issue that we discovered, and we're also going to discuss a problem-solving method on fixing something on the line. Now you start covering those, but you let them know ahead of time what we're going to cover. Somebody should be taking notes, should have a note or record keeper. At the end, summarize the main points that you covered. Review with everybody who is supposed to do what, or who's supposed to bring certain information or items to the next meeting. That way it's real clear on who's supposed to do what. And I recommend you do a what did we do well and what could we do better summary at the very end. So, 4 keys to effective meetings. What are they? Team 2, tell me. No, I'm kidding. All right, you can't. Number 1, you need to have a clear purpose and agenda. You need to have clear roles and responsibilities of what everyone is expected to do, and clear ground rules of how the meeting is to be conducted. And then good evaluation of it and feedback. Those are the 4 best ways to have an effective meeting. And I'm going to add, at the end of the meeting, double check who does what before everybody leaves. There is your last bonus question. So, now we're going to go to Chapter 6, Project Management. This is going to be very quick, easy, and simple. We're looking at establishing who, how much, and when. So first of all, it's getting information you need. You need to determine skills and knowledge that each activity requires. Who's the best person to do that task? And then decide what skills and knowledge each project team member should possess. Then you create a skills matrix. Hint, hint. going to the midterm project. What are the steps for preparing a skills matrix? Well, number one, discuss with each team member his or her skills, what knowledge they have, and what their related interest is to the project task. Determine each person's level of interest in working on the project tasks. Consult with the team member's functional manager to determine their opinion of that particular team member's skills, their knowledge, and their interest. And performance, I would ask, too. All right. Then, check to see whether any areas of your organization have already prepared a skill matrix. So maybe there is some on some of these people already. Incorporate all the information you gather up in a skills matrix and review them with each team member to ensure that all the information you have is accurate. What is a human resources matrix? Well, this depicts the people assigned to each project activity and the work effort each person will contribute to each assignment. What are the three types of information you need here? Skills and knowledge, the position, name, or title in the company, and, of course, the name of the person, right? Pretty obvious. So when you plan out your initial allocations, you begin planning your workload by developing a human resource matrix, a person loading graph or chart. What is that? If you read the book, it's a bar graph that depicts the level of work effort that you'll spend each day, week, or month on an activity. So, again, human resources matrix, person loading graph. Whoops, we got a duplicate here. Sorry. You will be constantly planning, replanning, shifting resources, and changing allocations. That's what project management is all about. I've said that a few times now. Let me make sure it's real clear. You're going to be constantly monitoring this. So you want to allocate your time a little unevenly over the duration of one or more activities. Why? So you don't get locked into doing the same mundane routine thing all the time. It will get boring. And also so that you vary your emphasis to the more important segments or sections of the project as you go along. So instead of spending the same number of hours on an activity each week, plan to spend more hours some weeks than others. Depends on the importance of the task at hand. Resolving potential resource overloads. You remember what slack time was. You want to take advantage of any slack time that may exist in your assigned activities. Remember that slack time is the maximum time you can delay an activity without delaying the earliest finish date by which you can complete the project. All right, homework for next week. And again, I missed being there with you guys last night. I'm sorry. However, now you're going to go to page 110 in the team development text and read that chapter. You're going to complete exercise number 16 by February 22nd and submit that to the Dropbox. And then you're going to read chapter 6 in the teamwork book. Read chapter 7 in the project management book. Okay, so that's it. Plus, you now have these bonus questions from the lecture. These bonus questions are bonus points, so if you get them all right, these are bonus points that you will get into your grade, making up for an exercise that we could have done last night. Any questions, write me an email, guys, and we'll see you next week. Stay warm, and again, next week you'll do your presentations.